trust a brandy buck and a toque.
What? That was just a detour. A shortcut.
Shortcut to what?
The mushrooms!
I'll just cut off. What? Is that a case of... Yeah, okay. That's it, like, bang in the view.
Unbranded cider.
Cardboard box.
Yeah, is the cardboard box... No, it's got the BW Essence and butterflies on it.
This is 100% stained. No, keep it in.
The butterflies...
Actually, wait, won't it get taken down from YouTube if we keep alcohol displayed?
I don't know.
I'll have to check later. I'll just put like a little sticker over it the whole time if I have to.
Well, no, because that's not alcohol.
Yeah, it's not promoting alcohol.
Wait, does it need to be in cups? Do cold ones drink out of cups?
No, they drink the bottles.
Ah, then we're fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
You might get demonetized.
I don't think I'm going to be making any money from
I think that
this.
you're not allowed to swear within the first minute.
I thought you just couldn't swear, period.
No, if you swear too much, you get demonetized. But you can't swear in the first minute either.
I mean, Jack's here, so it doesn't matter really what happens
Cunt! Sorry.
Done. Demonetized. Okay.
Wait, are we live?
Oh, we're already live. We're not live. We're already recording.
Oh.
So we can just start talking at any point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think now's probably a good time to say welcome. Wait, no. Sorry.
Start drinking, but
Hold
we'll
up.
crack one more.
When you start on fresh bottles.
Fresh bottles, yeah.
Fresh bottles, kinda...
Well, that way you also don't hear the...
That's the best thing to hear. You realise I'm not cutting out any of this.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Haven't we already started the episode?
Yeah. Welcome!
Cheers to that.
I really need a drink, but I don't drink because I'm boring. Welcome to... What's it been? A year? It's been a year.
It's
Just about a year.
At least a year,
A
yeah.
long time between drinks.
Welcome to the next episode of very long-awaited A Shortcut to Mushrooms and the first moving picture episode we have. I've got with me here, I've got Liam and I've got Jack, for those of us who haven't met them in person, which will be actually, a fair few people at Masters, I reckon.
Yeah,
Yeah, most people will have done, yeah.
There's a lot of names I've seen on some lists that
You might know us
I don't
from-
recognise, yeah.
You might know us from such doubles list as Officer. I swear she said she had 18 models, or there's a glory girl in the dungeon.
That's what we're on.
I'm going to have to add subtitles to that, but yes. There are questionable doubles choices that these two make that I endorse and actually allow to happen.
Hey, first and second with those lists.
Yeah, we'll take it. Anyway, the reason we have brought you together today is actually for the purpose of Masters, which is coming up in, just over a week, on the 23rd and 24th, two-day event. 700 points organised by Adam Jenkinson. Thank you for all the work you're doing so far. But what we're doing today is, as you can see on the screen, we're going through the army list that Adam has kindly put together with this lovely background, lovely format. I actually quite like the blend of the master symbol and the map of Middle-earth.
I do like that master symbol, and of course you can win something with that master symbol on it, particularly one of the cases.
Yes.
I believe it's one of the prizes for the donation.
So
the
yeah,
raffle?
it's for the raffle. Yeah.
Is it just the raffle, or does it still? Do we know?
It is the raffle. So it's a few select prizes, including that for the raffle, and those are on sale, and all the proceeds go to Beyond Blue.
That's right. That's the Beyond Blue raffle that's currently ongoing on the main community page at the moment. I should have this video out shortly, so I don't imagine it'll go down before then. No.
Below this.
Yeah. So I mean, all proceeds obviously going to a great cause, and if you're interested in obviously getting some really cool goodies, which most raffles, I'd argue, don't really give you anything cool, then by all means, please donate something. There's no downside. All right, shall we just kick into the order of things?
Yeah, let's get cracking.
Crack it away.
All right, awesome. So first up, we've got Aiden. Don't know which Aiden. I'm assuming there's just one. With Barrador. Barrador. Everybody's favourite list.
Barrador.
If every list takes this long,
We're going to skip a few because they're duplicates, so it's okay.
I mean, we can just rotate. I'm just like...
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'll read through one, you read through the next, and we'll just keep going around. Anyway, so Aiden, taking Barrador. Taking the Dark Lord Sauron, has to be the leader, with a Mordor War Catapult, an Orc Captain as an upgrade, one additional crew and severed heads, and then cheeky little Shelob, just at the bottom of the list. So, I mean, it doesn't get much more, like, linear than three big-ass things just coming at you, right?
It's a silly list, and I gotta say, back in after 2020-ish, I said, I really think you need to write a consistent list in order to be somebody who wins Masters, but I think that it's so much fun to play. Hopefully, your opponent gets to have a good time against it. But I imagine a lot of these games will be, swingy, which is fun.
I like 7 heads personally. It's a bit of fluff that I don't think I've ever seen before in a tournament. I'm sure they've been played before, but for if you don't know, it's making a courage test after you take the hit. If you fail the courage test, you flee. And it's fun. It's more than the whole, hey, fuck you.
But it's the AoE, isn't it? Like, it's not just the direct...
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
It's a strength 3 2-inch bow, and if you fail the courage test, if you're hit, you have to do a courage test. If you fail, you run away.
And plus, it ties in well, obviously, with the negative courage.
Correct.
Yeah.
Buff
And he has drain courage. Yeah, he does have drain
Yes, he
courage.
does.
So I think it's, it's...
If you can pull it off, nice combo.
Yep.
Every scenario, Stormley can.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And additionally, he can't be broken, because this is the...
This is
pure list.
Pure Barrow Door, so yeah, he needs to be dropped below 2 wins, I believe.
I think it's 3 or fewer can be
3 or
broken as
fewer.
normal. I mean, I don't face or play with many Saurons, so correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really care. This podcast is not about getting things right.
Jack is. But anyway,
Sorry, Jack's here for that. I'm not here for
click the next slide. Anyway.
Yes. So, Aiden, that's going to be fun. We'll see how it goes.
It
Alright.
is 3.
It's 3?
3 broken is normal, 2 is auto broken.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Oh no, sorry, it's 2 is broken is normal. And if he's slain, it's auto broken.
Sweet.
Anyway.
Just because I have many mental issues, I'm going to quickly check we are recording.
Yeah, I would.
I think that'd be a good
But
idea.
this is also a very funny aside anyway. So.
We are recording. Good job. That is not getting edited out.
Premium content, premium stream.
I hope you saw all the stuff. And
I know.
And you get to dox him.
all the porn that Andreas has downloaded.
Yeah, because I'm the kind of person that would 100% keep it on my computer.
Desktop, that's right.
Yeah. So, up next we got Alexander Colsante? Is that how you pronounce it?
Alexander C.
Yeah, we're gonna
My
go.
name is Colsante,
We're gonna go with what's
from
on
Victoria.
Yes, from Victoria with the Serpent Horde. Liam, take it away.
So it's got Suladan with Armored Horse and Bow, Betrayer on horse, Raza, who has to be on foot, and a Taskmaster who has to be on foot. You can see that the 3 main warbands that aren't with Raza are relatively consistent, having a combination of warriors with bow and spear. We've got some Serpent Guard in there. The Watchers of Karna with twin blades, and a cheeky weapon swap. I would be interested to see what he swapped the weapon to, or both weapons to.
Just change it every game, honestly.
Hey, if you've magnetized your minis, then
Actually, you can. You don't have to specify, do you?
it just says weapon swap.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you go, it's WYSIWYG, that's what the event says. Yeah.
yeah. What's my opponent playing? Quick, put on the axe.
The biggest power play would be weapon swap to a blade.
I just really like round numbers.
I don't want any points left over when I take a list.
So the answer is
So-
everyone gets clubs.
This is a fairly classic, in my opinion,
Just
Serpent Horde
rounded.
list.
Yeah.
It is.
With that said, I haven't seen a lot of Watches of Karna for a while, so I'm interested to see what Alex can actually pull off with that. The Betrayer, they're obviously giving the spending the will point to give poison to Venom.
Yeah, correct. Anything that's poison gets to reroll all failed wounds as opposed to just ones.
And the Taskmaster is always cheeky.
I'm
appreciate
really
it.
liking this list. The Taskmaster and Raza is a fantastic combo. It means you're getting March, and Raza's going to get really quickly into the combats, because he's obviously quite slow on his own. It's getting the Betrayer and Suladon on their own to kind of get those big lists forward, and then the Taskmaster and Raza kind of going for that flanking maneuver and trying to hit the target that Raza has to get that extra 2 fight
Yeah.
for the combat.
I played a list almost, I think, pretty well identical to this. Obviously, different points level.
It's a worthless list, right?
Yeah, it's granted it's the only list I lost against that clash, but it does work. Yeah, definitely. So looking forward to seeing it again at 700. All right, up next, got Alexander S. Army of Thor. Freaking Thor. Hell
Thor and
yeah.
Thorin,
Hot
okay.
damn.
Yeah.
That's a
Thor's-
combination
Thor's
I'd like to
coming.
see.
It's looks like it's Thor here with 12 Guardians of the King and 1 Warrior of Erebor. The banner, Gandalf the Grey, presumably on foot, and then Thrain with 11 Warriors of Erebor. Pretty interesting. Dwarves, as usual, they're pretty good at what they do. Very high defense, pretty decent strength, and they can certainly do some damage. Especially Guardians of the King, I believe, are an extra
Strength.
Strength.
Yeah, so Burley's for the Durin's
yeah.
Hearthguard. They just get the strength, so they become strength 4, defense 7, throwing weapon. Look, I would say they're probably just as good as the Hearthguard, given the fact that you got lots of spears in the list, kind of offsets the fact they don't have Burley. But You get the throwing weapons.
Yeah, it's one of those weird ones where it's taking all spear and shield there. I wonder if it was the correct option or if we could have maybe done some weapon swaps elsewhere. But
I think it's a brick wall.
I agree.
And the support caster in there with Gandalf definitely does make it more interesting. Obviously now I'm getting access to Blinding Light.
And isn't it the relatively newer spell, the Collapse Rocks or Collapse Stone?
Collapse Rocks.
In the right circumstance can do a lot.
But even just the threat of having a caster that has will every turn is just that constant transfix, compel threat. Going in, hitting heroes, even maneuvering.
And don't forget Protection of the Valor. Can't cast or do anything to a model under Protection of the Valor.
Popping that on Thrain when he goes in would be nutty.
I was going to say, either Thrawn or Thrain doesn't really matter. Like, they're both going to be basic. But Thrain's the obvious one with the two-handed belt. Like, I think it's... Sorry, Mastercrafter, not belt.
Mastercrafter.
Yes, Mastercrafter. So, you know what? People may look at this and go, there's not much range or movement going on here. I look at this and go, cool. What are you going to do about it, though?
It's a tough nut to crack, and, you don't have to try and stop it from doing what it wants.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing this. Yeah. All right.
Shit.
Oh no!
Shit list, move on.
Absolute garbage tier list. So this one's mine. For everyone who doesn't know, I like to run lately, especially some wacky crap. So I got Saruman from the White Council, so he's on horse. Then I've got allied in. I've got Fangorn. I've got Treebeard with that spelling is correct. It is Squarian Squippin. So for theme purposes, I am modeling up Merry and Pippin as squirrels, so that you can have Saruman in the list, and it's that kind of that theme. I'm a dickhead Saruman. I like to go into the woods occasionally and have yoga with the Ents, and I think it's just fun. You've got 4 really big heroes, and then 2 really cute little throw stone icons on the Treebeard. I'll let you guys have a chat about it.
Well, speaking of tough nuts to crack,
absolutely. I think as the experts in the nature of this,
look, fight 8. For 2 of your heroes, fight 7 on quick bleed, moving 8 inches.
Getting the full coverage with those extra 2 ends, getting the extra strike and getting the movement in there is pretty nutty. They are going to lose the armor bonus, so they're not going to get the immunity to being moved against their will.
No immunity to the movement magic,
and no fearless.
And no fearless as well, which has come up a few times in our test matches. But, no, having Saruman there is, again, it's the same as we talked about last list, having that constant risk and the constant threat of those transfixes and those compels going off every single turn. He's getting at least 1 dice, he'll probably spend more.
But even then, it's Saruman with 1 dice, which he will then re-roll, and if he's casting something like Immobilize, just so that your Ents can access a target, so you can get even closer, with a barge or something funny, I think it's a worthy sacrifice.
I agree. I think, absolutely. The benefit you're getting from that, as opposed to the niche sort of interaction you have with the armor list, is just it's a no-brainer.
Because how many points is Saruman on horse again?
Yes, I think he's
it's
170 plus 10, or it's 180 plus 10. Either way, because of the way the ends work out, I have points left over.
It's about 160.
I think it's White Council is one. I think it's 180 plus 10. I'm pretty sure that's the one it is.
Pretty sure it's 190.
Jack has a very legal copy of the book on his phone.
Yeah, shut up, Andreas. It's 180. So 170 base with 10 for the horse.
There you go. Yeah. So I'm not going to say anything else about my list, just because I would like some surprises, ideally. But I will say I've been enjoying. Saruman works really nicely with the Ents.
That reroll is a killer. The reroll for the casting is just nutty.
Yeah, and it's the threat range, because the Ents struggle really with trying to catch things, and Saruman just helps there. So
and you won't fit 2 Ents in his point vacuum anyway. So
no, it's this weird sort of vacuum where you can't fit much else that gives you a nice theme, and I think the theme works really well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really cool.
Because like pre War of the Ring Saruman, I argue is kind of cool. But I won't spend much time here. Let's move on. Otherwise, people will actually come up with ways to get rid of it.
Interesting.
All right, we have second best Andreas.
What an interesting list. So you've got the Undying on horse, Goroth, Kardush, the Mouth of Sauron, and Musgo. So you've got Musgo, who knows? It's an orc shaman. It's named.
Orc shaman.
But what's interesting about this list is it's a quad caster list. I've seen the triple caster with the Undying a lot pre-nerf.
Yeah.
Sorry, pre-change is probably the technical word for it. Before you had to activate the spell casting. But I've never seen anyone be like, I'm going to hard commit and run him with 3 other casters, particularly 3 named casters.
Yeah, I think the big thing here is that it can go over his starting limit, as far as I'm aware, which is nutty. So it's interesting in terms of the logistics of how you're moving your army, because obviously, if you're having all your casters in the same place, it's a pretty big target. It's great that you've got a lot of warriors around it, but for things like, the shooting and the breathe fires and the catapults and things like that are coming in, it's interesting. Where do you split them off? How do you split them around? I think that's probably going to be the biggest difficulty with this list, is where to place who.
Yeah, it is slightly on the lower side for your model count, obviously having the 5 heroes in there, which means that you aren't going to be accessing your army bonus with the reroll 1s and the +1 courage quite as much. But I do think it's got enough troops in there that will still be on the table for the most part in your matchups.
I think this is the kind of list where most games the leader's not going to die.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry, the will can't take you over your starting limit, it's regained, but still, 18 Fate is nutty.
Well, it just means the Undying... obviously, granted, you don't want to be too crazy unless you're people like us.
Yeah.
But the Undying can just pump 3 or 4 dice at most spells comfortably and be like, cool, I'm probably going to get 2 or 3 back, maybe.
Yeah, that's
most
fair.
turns. The thing I like as an opponent for this list is I'm pretty confident most of those spellcasters will be in a little clump for the most part, or, at least at some point. So, yeah. I'm keen to see how it works.
Does Goroth have any special rules that I'm forgetting of?
He tosses orcs in front of him. On a 2+, they take wounds.
Oh, so...
It is an active ability, I think.
It
So
is an
if
active ability, yes.
spells happen, they may not be able to use it, but yeah, it's
It's quite funny, basically being the sacrificial orc theme or the sacrifice.
there's a lot in this list that sacrifices.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Goroth sacrifices orcs, Kardush sacrifices orcs,
Kardush
Undying sacrifices the Kardush.
It's a big domino effect.
This is the masochist list, I think.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's fun. It's got some good flavour.
I am curious as well, interesting as well, you can actually use heroes with that rule as well.
Yes, because all keyword only.
Just Mordor or
Yeah, so
I'd love to see some of those interactions, but yeah, if he's on his last wound, so if he would be slain, he can cast it, or he'd roll a +2, and it has to be within 1 inch. But very interesting, some fun plays there, I think. So.
I think this is going to discover some new mechanics that we
does the
haven't.
does the quadcaster replace the double monster meta? Who knows?
I'm not that smart, man.
No.
Anyway, so we can get through the list. We'll move on. This is going to be a recurring theme, I think.
Interesting.
Sorry, who's that?
Mr. Andrew C. Andrew C.
We're at a point. I think we have more Andrews than we have
Other
list
names.
variations in the bloody tournament.
That's true.
Jack.
Yeah.
Take it.
Very interesting. Obviously, moving away from his usual play with the all cavalry, Mr. Coleman has in fact spiced it up a bit, and he has spiced it up well, I think, with some of these models coming in. Witch King, as usual, on his horse with the Crown of Morgul Blade. Morgul Blade is going to be a pretty pivotal usage against some of these lists in the tournament.
Yeah.
6 orc trackers across the board in each of these lists, some more Morannon orcs, and interestingly, Black Numenorians, which I think was pretty interesting. We also have Slid on the Serpent Lord with the Armoured Horse to give us the nice 6-inch banner without the minus. Gorebag with the shield, and the Mouth of Sauron with Armoured Horse.
There's a good mix. There's a lot of trackers there, a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's a lot of those going on. There's a lot of casting going on.
You can't just stay away from this list, really.
No.
It's forcing you to engage, but also, I imagine the Black Numenorians will relatively form that front line, which means, cool, try and engage, and you'll pass your courage at neg 1.
Yeah, those Black Numenorians are going to sit at the front, the Dragon's going to shoot from the back, and Mouth of Sauron and the Witch King are just going to harass with their magic until you come in.
And Suladan provides the strike option and
6-inch
extra
banner.
might and the banner. So I think it's definitely well crafted, and you can't sleep on Gorebag, who's in there as well.
Absolutely not.
Contributing, at the very minimum 3 might. But
Seeing a lot more Mouth of Sauron is really nice.
ever since you painted yours, they've really picked up in the community.
You know just what to say. I'm going to make sure the volume is amplified for that comment.
Yeah.
So that, I will edit that part. Thank you. But I think the biggest part for me from this list is Gorebag will be largely ignored for the most part, and I think that would be the killer. Because a couple of turns later, I reckon you'd be looking at he's chewing through half a dozen more models easily.
Well, that's it. the big threats there are going to be the Witch King and Suladon. The Matheson and Gorbag are kind of those backup heroes, but they've got really, really good maneuverability. They've got really good killing ability.
Yeah.
The Matheson is just a mini Witch King. He's going to do a lot of harassing, even if he saves his will early on. Having that backup caster and having that Gorbag with 3 might just munching through dudes.
Yeah.
Underestimate them at your own cost. I mean, most people, you'd hope that whoever this Andrew C is, most people aren't underestimating, but they certainly put me in my place several times.
Absolutely right.
I mean, who hasn't he? In all fairness.
Place is second.
Oh god. Twice. At Masters.
Can't wait for a third time. Looking forward to it, Andrew.
Oh, baby.
Alright. We've got Mr. Medbury himself, Defenders of the Shire. Is this the first Legendary Legion we've... Yeah, it's the first.
It is.
It's my turn. Oh, yes. So we've got a mixture of Meriadoc, Captain of the Shire, and Peregrine, Captain of the Shire. And they're leading a mix of battling Brandybucks, militia, and sheriffs. We've got Boulder Tulpenny, which is the Throwstone's god, with his archer contingent, which is nice. Frodo of the Nine Fingers, Mr. Bannon Boy, with more archers. That's a lot of archers. Then we've got Farmer Maggot, with doggies, my favourite, and a good mix. And then Farmer Tomlin Cotton, one single archer, and a couple of militia. And then we've got Mr. Wholefoot Bracegirdle, which is the I give everyone burly if you're a sheriff. Which is, honestly, for me,
There's a lot of sheriffs.
Yeah, there's a lot of sheriffs. How many can
but, a lot of hobbits fit.
I see 11 plus 5. We've got 16 sheriffs, unless I suddenly can't count, which often happens. Yeah. There's a lot of burly, so what, that becomes strength 4 or 5 across the board? No, strength... Are they strength 3? No, they're strength 2.
The strength 2.
Yeah.
They go up to strength 4-ish.
They got strength... Yeah, pseudo strength 4.
With the +1. Yeah.
With 5 value 3, which is not bad. It's really not bad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is there's not a lot of need for weapon swaps. Some people try and get creative given they have so many weapons. But realistically, the thing that I'm most looking forward to about this army, other than potentially playing against it when we talk about my list, is I can't wait to see this army on the table.
Yeah, it will be gorgeous.
If it's not very pretty, Andrew will owe many people some drinks.
Absolutely right. But this man, reflocking his trees and... I love Medbury.
Let's put it this way, Mr. Medbury does not... doesn't fall short on any of the stops when it comes to making things presentable. This will definitely be colourful and, honestly, I think this might be... I could be wrong, but I think it might be the highest model count.
It's up there. It's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there.
The other thing that's interesting is it's one of those, obviously we're playing a game based on dice, and the more dice you have, the more opportunities you have to do things. So it's a numbers game that Andrew's playing, and
sometimes it just works out.
Sometimes, yeah, like however many bows that is, or how many throwing stones, it'll get the job done.
29 bows.
That's
Wait a minute. Is that right?
No, it's not.
It's not right.
It's not right at all. It's 17.
Is it 17?
It is 17.
So 24.
Plus 4.
Oh, sorry, no, you're right. Never mind.
Plus 4. That's 28, 29.
29.
Is that a third? I think it's over. So 14, 15... No. I think we're just good. No, wait, no. Somebody do math real quick for me.
14 plus 24, 29...
You can tell we prepped this well in advance, and we should...
I count 75 warriors, let alone the heroes.
Yeah, 75.
I think it might be a bit over.
Nope.
No? 29 and 75.
75 plus 1, 2, 3.
No, that's
4,
over a
5,
third.
6, 7. It's 86.
75 times 0.33 is... Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alright.
Gotcha!
Everybody make fun of him! Ha! You gotta do it with me.
Now, to be fair, we should probably double check our math, but that'll probably be edited out, right? We'll
The
find
math?
out. Our math.
I'm tempted to just leave everything raw, to be honest.
It's much
We'll probably add some time, but yeah.
We'll see how we go. Anyway, we will come back to this at some point, or probably not.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, look into it. You know what? Send out a message.
Let me just get a photo.
Is pointing honestly helping you?
Yeah.
I'll do it while we jump on the next list.
Alright, cool. We'll move on to the next list.
I think there's 93. I think we miscounted.
We miscounted?
I think there's 93, which makes it legal.
That does make it legal.
15, 16, 26, 31, 32, 44, 45, 57, 58, 61, 67, 70, 71, 72, 80, 81.
No, you're off by 1.
81 plus 12 is 93. Okay, so I was wrong.
93 is...
That happens often. I will still not edit it out because I deserve to look like an idiot. We'll work it out.
Look like.
Anyway, looking very... Sorry. Very much looking forward. It's a moving picture. We'll move on. We'll leave it here. Good job, Andrew. You can count. We can't.
Some of us.
Well, some of us.
Moving on to Anthony T, going from one of the largest lists to equal smallest.
What did you say equal for?
It's a popular choice. And look, it's Smaug. But we all know it's 700-point tournament. We're going to see a Smaug.
I think Sean and Mike would be sad if we didn't say Smaug on base.
Smaug on base.
Smaug on base.
Yeah.
We will cover Smaug later on. All I can say is that good job, Anthony. Thanks for copying me.
I wonder what Jack's taking.
So this is my favourite list.
Yeah.
This man is not afraid of penalties.
No, this is what I really hope. Because I believe there might be another person in there who's still to receive a list. But I genuinely hope that one of them is going to put in an illegal list, and which would be funny, and the other one is going to just get 6 wins and be like, cool, don't care about your negatives.
Ninth.
Imagine what I could do with no negatives.
I think we did confirm with Adam that if you get all wins, it is possible to come first regardless of score, unless someone else is on the same.
Unless you have like
Yeah.
2 weeks worth of -2s a day.
Well, it's
Then maybe not.
I believe it. Look, we'll confirm, but I think it is knockout until it becomes relevant for points.
within a point, obviously, there's more.
Assuming no modifiers, it's a knockout. But again,
I just realised
Just win your games.
we're
Start
20
by winning your games.
we're 26 minutes in, and we're at 10 out of 84.
Oh, I think this needs to be split into multiple parts. But
yeah,
yeah,
we should take a break at 4 so I can do a 20-minute meeting.
Are you actually got a minute for?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Well, we got this.
All planned.
All right, power through. Brody C.
Brody C.
Jack, you got
What
this.
an interesting list this is. Fascinating little ting penny. Obviously, I'm not taking this list. And then Mr. Brody C may have asked, hey, can I use your list? And I said yes, because I love the Mimic War Leader. Look, end of the day, Witch King, Crown of Morgul, and Fellbeast. Pretty simple, nice and easy, everyone knows how it works. The Mimic War Leader with 4 bows and 8 blowpipes on there. A lot of shooting, a lot of mobile shooting, a lot of harassment with the Witch King, especially because he's not the leader. The War Leader is the leader. 15 will, 3-3 on the Witch King as well. A lot of harassment, a lot of hurls going on, a lot of shooting, and the War Leader is just fantastic at walking into those lists. Especially some of those lists we talked about where they're all clumping up, lots of models, getting in there, counting the moves, going first, and just wreaking havoc on some of those larger lists is going to be very interesting.
Now, Jack,
Mm-hmm.
I do notice that he's gone for the no banner play.
Correct.
Do you think that's because we're seeing the veto choice for scenarios?
I think what I'm going... Look, there's a few options, but I think the answer there is that I didn't do it while writing it.
And on that note, I'm going to move on.
Good luck, Brody.
All right, we've got Chelsea L, Lothlorien, Haldia with all the toys, an assortment of lots of Galadrim, some court guards, some warriors, and a sentinel. A couple of bows in there. We've got Rumel with a similar mix. Then we've got the Lothlorien captain with the horse, and there's a knight in there, and there's some more guard, and there is a banner with Haldia. Yes, so we've got Chelsea coming up from Victoria with Tyler, I believe.
I believe so.
Absolutely.
This is just, like, there's no other way to put it. It's just a nicely rounded list. A lot of Fight 6, a lot of re-rolling dice, a lot of shenanigans,
There's
really.
a large enough contingent of obviously elf bows too. I think it's one of those lists where you look at it and you go, oh yeah, it's a fairly standard list. But Rumel's just funny. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you rolled a 6? No, you didn't.
Meh.
I think that this is a relatively well-rounded list. And I say this from someone who has not run a lot of elves because I hate them to my core. But I would have liked a little bit more maneuverability. I would have liked to have seen a few more knights, but I don't know if that's viable in this composition.
It's. I mean, even when you're playing Rivendell, having enough knights to do some of the, fringe objectives and being able to do a bit of countering the back end, will that be counteracted by the ability to re-roll, to be able to get the higher fight across the board? Remains to be seen.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, it's one of those things where I can't spot a major weakness. The only thing I would say is there's not a lot of survivability in your big heroes because they're all somewhat mid-tier hero level. But other than that, I think
it's a reasonable model count.
Yeah,
it's nothing to sleep on.
The compensating point is you got a lot of elves here. Like this, this if micromanaged well, will do well. I think that's all there is to it. Yeah. All right, Chris B, Rivendell and Numenor. Go ahead, Liam.
Elves and Friends. I wonder if we'll see one of those.
Yeah, possibly. Is this yours or mine?
That's mine. So you've got Glorfindel with Armour of Gondolin and Aspharoth leading a contingent of High Elf warriors. There's 2 Rivendell Knights. There is a banner on foot, but it's mostly spear and shield. You've also got Círdan, who is probably not too disappointed in the build of this list. He's with 3 High Elf warriors with shield and spear and 3 with bow and spear. And then you've got Isildur on horse with his shield. Of course, he's carrying the ring, and you've got some warriors of Numenor for your strength 4.
Strength 4,
yeah.
Which is
always spear.
It's that classic combo of I've got a fight advantage and some decent strength.
Yeah.
And
if
you can maneuver it right, this can be quite deadly.
I think there's these 2 heroes are probably at a point where their fighting capabilities are evenly split enough that it kind of diverts your opponent's attention between the 2 quite nicely.
He's pretty good in Fight 6 with the ring.
Yeah.
Glorfindel obviously Fight 7, really good against monsters with the Armour of Gondolin. And that 12-inch move, while not too written down, it is quite a scary maneuver in the field. Suddenly moving 12 is very
Enchanted Blades from Círdan. He has Enchanted Blades.
That's correct.
I do wonder how much Círdan's bubble will actually hamper the list. Obviously, the bubble's going to do quite well in protecting your troops because the vast majority are on foot. But there's such killing power in that heroes that sometimes you want to be able to push them forward a bit. And I wonder if they might just get a bit far away from the bubble and potentially have to resource out.
There is the problem as well with getting too scared to leave the bubble, wanting to stay within it. To be able to perform really well, he's going to have to go outside that bubble and expand a little bit.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Chris can bring to the table. Though.
Awesome. All right, Chris H, Army of Thror. Not Thor this time. This is Thror.
Just Thror.
And no Gandalf.
And no Gandalf, and I'm starting to see another brick wall.
Yeah, Thror with Ring of Dur in there, getting the rerolls on Fate if you pass it. The 15 Grim Hammers again, same as before. Guardians of the King, they're really, really good. Threatening with 10 warriors of Erebor, spear and shield, and a captain with a shield and 8 warriors with spear and shield.
No banner.
No banner.
I did think that was an interesting one, given the
is Thror a banner, or is it just Swarm? Is it Swarm Protector banner or something similar?
We'll double check. The other thing that's interesting is obviously the captain of Erebor, because this is pure. Is he
pure
giving Master of Battle?
No, that's Iron Hill's captains only.
Hills.
Yeah, the captain of Erebor. Very stock standard sort of brick wally captain.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is nothing to laugh at. Like,
of course.
Captain Erebor will tank out a lot of things bigger than its points worth kind of dictates. And you just got 2 big hitters. And how many models is that? That's 18 plus 15. That's 30. 33 plus 3. Yeah, this is
39 models is nothing.
This is getting up to...
How are you going to kill 39 defense 8?
These are all defense 7, these lads.
Throw and Thrain, there is no banner there, though the Thrain model does in fact get the weird stand fast, where they can stand fast and get all models on the board.
Cool. So, another brick wall. If you can kill it, good luck. Yeah. Alright, Chris R, Return of the King. Not the last one we'll see.
Yeah, it's a popular legend for the Masters. What's he got in it, Andreas?
It's my turn. Yeah, my turn. Yeah, cool. We've got probably the most common sort of mix. You've got Aragorn, Legolas, and King of the Dead, and they're all leading an assortment of Warriors of the Dead, and you've got the token couple of 2 riders in there. I personally, Liam did mention it before, and I also agree, I would have loved to have seen a Herald and drop maybe a handful of Warriors, simply because the King of the Dead is so much more oomphy when he doesn't have to spend that might to call the strike or a move or something similar.
Right. I've played quite a lot of Return of the King. It used to be one of my old lists. Heralds are just too good. They get resistance as well as that might to the King.
The banner that's not a banner that gives resistance.
Yep, that's correct. It's very, very useful. It really makes the King of the Dead a lot better. And the other weird one here is that Legolas does not have an Elven Cloak.
So it's a good pick-up, Jack. I respect what Chris has done. I think he's gone for the maximization of numbers.
Yeah.
And I think in most cases that will reward him well, because they're just so hard to kill.
Correct.
It may be all he needs.
It might be all he needs. He might come back and show us that this is the build and we've been overcosting the heralds. But it's just having...
Are you vaping on video? There are children watching, me inclusive. I'm sorry, Liam. All I saw was smoke coming out of him.
That's from my hot take.
That's from your hot take?
Yeah. Gonna be a spitting fire.
Oh my...
Anyway.
please continue if you can.
Chris might prove us wrong there, but I think that, the Herald is the way that I would build this list, but of course, I'm not the master of Middle-earth, and I'm not the world champion.
No, but you might be the second master.
You're second at best.
Thanks, babe.
Alright. Daily R. Assault on Helm's Deep with a name I don't recognise. I could be just very antisocial, but I don't believe we've seen Daily recently at least.
Yeah, continuing the Legendary Legions here, we've got
the
Commander with Shield, with a mixed warband, bringing in the Demolition Team, which I missed on my first read through.
I love demo teams.
I love the idea of demo teams, just because they're so funny. Of course, there's a Ballista in there. I do respect that you've gone for the demo and one Ballista rather than just be like, here are my 17 Ballistas.
And doubling down on the brands. There's a second brand in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus 1 point extra makes it a little bit awkward, but oh boy, is it good.
How many points?
1 point extra for a brand.
Yes.
That's annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Just make it 5, it hurts us less.
The Shaman in there for your Fury. You've got another Captain with two-handed weapons. It's one of those things where you look at the overall model count and it's not terrible.
No.
And the other thing is, 4 and 4 needs 4s, and boy, are there a lot of 4s in an Isengard list. Strength 4, Fight 4. If you sleep on them in the slightest, you wonder where your army has disappeared to.
And it's deceptive because it's a little bit spread out. But there are 13 crossbows in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I will like to see what Daily does in regards to some of the more leader-focused missions.
Yep.
He obviously does have the extra Might Will Fate on the Commander.
And the attack and wound. So 3/3. Yeah.
3/3.
Yeah, it's...
So yeah, good luck to you, and thanks for keeping it to 1 Ballista.
Alright, Daniel May.
Good old 4K Dan.
Shockingly with Mahud.
I know, right?
Very shockingly.
More on Farhad. Mahud King War Camel. Interesting here, not bringing the War Spear with the Mahud King.
Knowing Dan, I pray that's a mistake, and he's going to be swearing it when he watches this.
God damn, I got to resubmit my list again.
Resubmit
minus what? Minus 30 points at this point?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. I really like this. So Mahud King, obviously the Betrayer, the Tribe Master, and the Ring Wraith, which is a very interesting list. So double Ring Wraith, double Mahud King / Tribe Master. There's a few interesting ones here. Obviously we love Mahud Warriors, one of the banner there with the King and a lot of blowpipes. We have 2 Mahud Raiders with no blowpipe nor War Spears. We selected not to get War Spears on anything, unless that's a mistake. I really hope it is.
I hope it's not. I hope he just doesn't care that much.
Yeah, I don't need them.
He's like, do I give War Spears everything, or do I just get another blowpipe? Yeah.
Get some half trolls. The half trolls are interesting. Fight 5, 2 wounds, 2 attacks. They are quite scary. And the Tribe Master there for... I see the Tribe Master's got a spear, but the Mahud King doesn't. I don't know. Interesting decisions. He does get the march there with the Tribe Master. The Betrayer does give all those lovely poison weapons that all of them except the half-trolls have. They become venom instead of poison.
And the Ring Wraith actually has march as well, generic Ring Wraith.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's 2/1.
So does the Tribe Master.
Yeah, the Tribe Master.
On top of that as well, yeah.
It's an interesting build from Dan. I respect the half-trolls. I think it's that balance between the right number of half-trolls, which is hopefully more than 0, but not too many. I do worry that the Betrayer is just not contributing enough to the list. I don't think
Dan cares.
Yeah, I don't think he cares that we care. The Wraith, the stats are interesting. The 2 Might's obviously strong. What would you be using that Ring Wraith for in this list? That second Wraith?
I think it's there to ferry the Betrayer. I think it's there to work with the Betrayer and some of the dudes on foot and create a split force so that you have 2 forces both with march. Why he didn't bring a second Tribes Master, I'm not sure, but maybe just have that extra will to play with along with the Betrayer and make sure you have 2 different forces with the harassment and the
second
march.
spellcaster, true. I do hope that one fate is enough on that ring wraith. Obviously, you can't subtract any will, but I do wonder if you could have moved some stuff around with your. You drop a half roll, you take a war spear on your king, and you take an extra fate on your wraith.
Yeah.
Might be a bit more of a consistent use of your points.
But don't keep changing his list. So.
Yeah. And this probably won't be.
I'll give credit to Dan. Like he's run Mahood enough to know what he needs to do with any assortment he's given.
Yeah. He's definitely got the experience running Mahood.
But he's also a dickhead. So I don't care.
No, Dad, I didn't want to come to your apartment anyway.
No, Dan, I'm not doing lines with you.
I don't want to do names in your apartment. Oh dear.
Unless your dad is watching, in which case you're a good citizen.
Shout out to Brendan.
Shout out to Brendan.
Just that.
Thanks, Dan.